Thanks. By the way, I must ask you a favor in this context. When you are in Porto Fisco, you must definitely pay us a visit. I'm certain that people will want to meet the spiritual father of the movement.
We'll see.
Here, you're going to need this.
What is it?
We have agreed on a new secret knock.
Well, the old one was a piece of crap.
Exactly. Nobody was really able to memorize it.
You know, Janosch, I've really got to go.
Yes, time for you to leave. Adventure is calling.
So it is. It's calling, will you finally shut up, you numbskull?
Okay, click on the developer's comments.
At last? What kept you?
We'll never catch up to the submersible this way.
It's not my fault. I was harassed by some bum.
Where are we going anyway?
My Donna self mentioned Portofisco, so that's where we should go.
I think we should first try to locate the signal from the submersible. I seem to remember there's a radio mast on Isla Watchet. Perhaps I can manipulate the transmitter so that our sonar will recognize
click on the developer's
signature of the
commentary.
submersible.
By then, Donna will be long gone. No
Damn it.
thanks.
I say Isla Watchet.
Bozo is the captain, and he wants to go to Fisco too, right?
We can head for the polar ice cap as far as I'm concerned. Just as long as you finally agree on something.
Enough. I will decide where we're going.
Rufus, those aren't the navigation controls. That's my ear hair remover.
Ah.
After we had a very convenient map navigation while roaming the floating black market,
Let's see.
in this rather huge chapter, don't worry, it's not as huge as the black market, we have another map, and a very logical one too. And we really need such a map, as we can travel to different places like Portofisco, where the upper ascension station is probably located, though we can't go there just yet. Then there's Isla Watchet, a storm-ridden island, and the North Pole, which is maybe also called North Pole. It sounds okay, but it would be in fact a terrible mistake. See, it's rather the North by Northeast Pole, since we know that due to the planet's heavy pollution and the corresponding global warming, the geomagnetic field has been altered. So we actually do not have a real North Pole, just a North by Northeast Pole, and even that's pretty pathetic. And only because it's tilted to the right so much does not mean we are way up in the north. Anyway, it's the North by Northeast Pole. Quite impressive, isn't it? We already know the floating black market. That little illustration to the lower left is supposed to be the lower ascension station, by the way. It's a bit rudimentary, but you've probably guessed it anyway. The whole thing is based on a Deponia world map I came up with pretty early. I have no idea where I pulled it from, but I always thought Deponia had to look just like that. Well, of course, with a better resolution than 8-bit. And this is only a small area around the Rust Red Sea.
Let's see. Can I go back to actually?
We should visit Porto Fisco.
Okay. All right.
What? That's supposed to be the pole? Lonzo puts more ice in the drinks when he wants to save alcohol. What a disappointment.
Very enjoyable screen. It's the North by Northeast Pole again, and I really like that frozen caveman. It's one of the rare moments where our background artist Micha also could tap into character design, since the character was part of the background. Isn't it cute how Rufus doesn't even acknowledge the poor frozen bastard there? I really love that. And another thing coming to mind here is a stars constellation. That was supposed to be part of a puzzle that turned out too complex eventually. It was a bit like the pattern puzzle from part 1. We would have to create a new interface for that, and weren't even sure how to pull that off. Ultimately we decided against it and made the whole thing obsolete by designing just an animation instead. Veteran adventure players probably look at it and try to figure out what vicious puzzle lurks behind that constellation. They've pulled out pen and paper by now to sketch it, not knowing that the solution will be blatantly blotted out of them. That's a rather hilarious twist, so I wasn't too sad that we've dumped the original idea.
They put Rufus up there, but he didn't contribute to nothing or anything.
Wow. The last time I could see the stars this clearly in Kuvak, I was 9. I probably shouldn't have removed the filter from the town's trash-burning generator. The sign is bigger than the pole. I could really use a torch like that. But to get it, I'll need something to melt the ice. Some sort of, I don't know, portable fire. Bummer. Plus, minus, plus. What is that supposed to mean? I must say, I'm nonplussed. Oh, crap. The water tap is frozen. So much for my idea of a skating rink. Oh, crap. No wonder the pizza guy never showed. Hey, Goal. Everything okay?
Except for the fact that you steered us straight into the eternal ice.
At least I didn't steer us into an iceberg.
But you did!
Yeah, and why can't I remember that?
Probably because you were hit on the head by a refrigerator when the polar bears attacked us.
Huh, I seem to have missed a few things.
You certainly did. It was pretty cool.
It really is very cold here.
You weakling. Can't you even stand a little cold?
Yeah, more than you.
Oh, really?
Really?
There's only one way to find out.
Ice swimming!
Ice swimming? Wait, that's dangerous. Hey, why am I getting so upset? I can still dream of my happy place. Happy, happy, happy.
I said no icebergs below the belt.
Can't help it if you mumble. Hey, Bozo, you should check your propeller. Some lunatic tied a penguin to it.
No problem. I'll take care of it later.
But be careful, you might ruin our slide.
What are we doing here anyway?
Shouldn't you know the answer to that, as you're the one who...
Yes, but, I mean, you know how things are. Every task breaks into subtasks, which in turn break into more subtasks. It's easy to get lost somewhere in there.
Ah, I see.
Have you seen the stars?
Focus on your job instead, Mr. Head in the Clouds.
I have to defend Rufus. Once upon a time, seafarers used to orient themselves by the stars.
Exactly. I wanted to orient myself by the stars and not be enchanted by their twinkling. On we go.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Back on track. After these highly dramatic events, Rufus managed to unite 2 of 3 parts of Gold's personality
take that out,
and
Coco.
is on his way with Doc and
I'll take
Bozo to recover the last one. And of course, we hit the road with Bozo's trawler, a boat we all grew fond of. It's almost a character in its own right. The trawler's bridge, however, is Deponia's version of TARDIS or the Millennium Falcon or the bridge of the Titanic. And on that I got a question for Rufus. Did this set become your home away from home after a while?
Yeah, I wish it was. But every time I wanted to sit down on the couch, you already occupied that place. It's right where that pillow is now. Your ass made quite a dent there. Yeah, and it's still in perfect condition. You know, I always hoped somebody would kidnap you. And then the police would have made an ass mold and searched for you. But frankly, with you sitting there all the time, how on earth could I feel at home?
I always
Yeah, you gotta
wanted
admit
someone
though,
to kidnap
this was
me so
always
the
my
police can make
spot.
an ass
I
mold to
always
find
put
me.
my mug on the cover
Best
over
line.
there.
Best line
The
of the game.
spot was just perfectly aligned with the screen. You can see right now on the image. It
What are you
wasn't too
eating,
far
bagel?
away from the window and not too far from the door. It's just my spot.
Yeah, and your arm was always in reach of the candy that was under the stairs there. And it wasn't your candy anyway. You know, I don't want to say whose those were, but they weren't yours.
Yeah, but I might add into whose nose they got shoved later on.
Yeah, but tell him whose nose you pulled them from. You know, when you succumbed to your greed and you ate them.
Well, someone had to put them there. Let's ask Bozo later on.
Careful. Tea's hot.
Did I just hear a challenge?
No,
Oh! Ouch! Ooh! Darn it.
I warned you.
What kind of tea is this?
Kidney tea. It warms you up, and it's good for your bladder, but you shouldn't drink too much of it.
Why? I have an extraordinarily large bladder.
Careful. Tea's hot. No,
Oh! Ouch! Ooh.
I warned...
The recipe is fine. The problem is that it's too hot.
Baby goal!
What was that?
That's my new jingle.
Needs a little bass if you ask me. Hey, Goal. Everything okay?
I'm cold.
Even though you're so hot.
Oh dear, perhaps I'm running a fever, even though I always eat my veggies like a good girl.
It really is.
If you want to warm up,
Yes?
drink some tea.
Eh,
But be careful, it's very hot.
there's time enough to be careful when we're dead, babe. What are we doing here anyway?
But I'm freezing.
Yeah, too bad I threw the chest with the electric blankets overboard.
Why exactly did you do that?
Hey, you stay out of this. I'm not asking you why you went off your diet.
That was mean.
Have you had any of the tea?
Only a little. It's still very hot.
Hey, nothing's too hot.
You shouldn't drink too much tea anyway. It's very weak. And someone flooded the toilet.
But that someone now also knows what direction the water spirals when you flush over the pole. And that it doesn't spiral at all if you stuff Doc's long johns down there. Have you seen the stars?
You want to look at the stars with me? Oh, that is so romantic.
Yeah, exactly. And not because I want to erase some things from your diary in the meantime.
You're sweet.
On we...
Oh, fun.
So, that's Porta Fisco, the former metropolis of the rust-red sea. A real dump, even by Deponian standards. And what is that awful stench? Lousy weather. We should make sure we finish up here as quickly as possible. The crust on my overcoat is starting to dissolve.
Well, and here we are on Isla Watch It, or rather its shores. Nothing too important going on here, apart from some minor pollution. Maybe Ruth can boost that a bit later on. It's often implied that I had an environmental agenda for Deponia, but frankly, that's not the case. Of course, I'm pro-eco. We all are, basically, in favor of a healthy planet. I don't think there's anyone going like, come on, let's go and pollute some environment. So I don't think this is a conflict I have to put further emphasis on. That would be just not very original. For A New Beginning, which was intended an eco-focused game, or rather its original story and design by me until Kevin Menz took over, I had indeed an environmental agenda. That was the proper battlefield for such